Hey guys, this is for discussion 7. Uh, that was a crazy video. Um, the main theme that I learned, that's a hard one. I mean, because the video is about discrimination, right? And how it feels to be discriminated against and wiping out discrimination, which can be racial discrimination, it can be gender discrimination, it can be any kind of discrimination, to be what it feels like. So for me, it was, the main theme was learning. Granted, hopefully, I mean, it's, discrimination's still there in today's society, and I truly wish it wasn't. But for me, it was, I mean, eye-opening how she did this exercise. And to learn what it's like. I mean, the way that this was done, I mean, you could really feel the emotion in this. Did any part of the film surprise me? The biggest thing I felt when she first started this with the children, immediately, me having a 5-year-old son, I immediately, you could see the emotion in these kids, the ones who were on the bottom the first day or the second day. You could see the emotion of being at the bottom, being discriminated against, and how it hurt them. And I'm a super emotional person. My 5-year-old son is as well. And immediately my first thought, was the mommy card. What I would do had my son been in that place. It was, I didn't like it at all at first. I was kind of upset with the way the video started. That changes, but do I think someone of a different race, ethnicity, or religion would also find it surprising? Absolutely. And it's not just a mommy thing. That's not what I'm getting at. Daddies have it too. But I think everybody would probably have some sort of reaction like that to their children being discriminated against and treated poorly. So that part surprised me. And the fact of how quickly these children went from best friends to completely hellions, for lack of a better word, towards each other based on the color of their eyes. I mean, it was outstanding. And, I raised my son to be kind and all of those things for everybody. And to think, how quickly that could change because of something like this, because of something they're taught, was outrageous. And I think that no matter the race, ethnicity, or religion, it would be found surprising by everybody. So how was the exercise that she designed a response to the child's question, why would anyone want to murder Martin Luther King? I think she put a lot of thought into it. Martin Luther King was against the discrimination, the segregation, and he spoke out, very much so. And so I think that her exercise definitely helped the children to understand why he was killed. I feel like that the film provided an answer. He was looked down upon because of his skin color. He spoke out against that. He wanted equality for everybody and no segregation. So not only was he different, but he was speaking out against people who found him different. So yes, I felt like she answered the question beautifully. How did the negative and positive labels placed on a group become self-fulfilling prophecies? We see that every day. It's the craziest thing, whether it's something you put on yourself or something someone else puts on you. Especially, I think you can see it in both positives and negatives. If I tell myself I'm going to do really good on this test, it's more possible. I feel better about it. But when you go into a test thinking, I didn't study, I didn't do all these things, I could have done more, I should have done more, I procrastinated, I'm going to do horribly, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do horribly. Because you've already gotten in your mind and wrapped yourself around that. And you can see that in any aspect of life. And I especially think about that one with my son. Giving positive feedback versus negative feedback. things grow and change better, I feel like. So I think, yeah, that explains, yeah. In the prison seminar, one of the white women asserts that all people faced some kind of discrimination. Another woman challenges her, claiming that whites can't really know what it's like to face discrimination every minute of every day. What do you think? So, during the time frame that they did this, I mean, I can understand where the argument comes from, but I agree with the first woman's statement, and I agree with the second woman's statement. So agreeing with the first woman that all people face some kind of discrimination, absolutely. People are discriminated against because of their gender, because of their age, because of their color, because of their height. No matter what it is, people get discriminated upon. It might not be as heavily as racial discrimination was back in that time frame, but it's still discrimination, and it still hurts. So the woman challenging her is saying that whites can't really know what it's like to face discrimination every minute of every day. Yes and no. I understood what she said when she said, you don't wake up and look in the mirror and know in that time frame, that you're a black woman and your opinion doesn't matter to most people. I get that. But also in a lot of that time frame, women were looked poorly upon that way. You're a woman, your voice doesn't matter. So I get it. I get both sides of it. Really, I don't think that there's a right or wrong there. How do you think this exercise affects the paramedic profession? Have you seen discrimination in EMS? Do you think it exists? If so, how do you think we can eliminate it? Number one, in our profession, you can't have that discrimination at all, for any reason, whether it's racial, gender, whatever the case may be. Have I seen it? Yeah. I think everybody can say that they saw it. It's never truly gone. The gay community's becoming bigger, and people discriminate upon them all of the time. You might have a partner or know of somebody who treated a patient poorly or not to the best of their ability, to the best of their professionalism or their ethics, due to them having different beliefs. So I do think it happens. Do I see it every day? No. The only time I see it every day, and it's a different type of discrimination, is where we get into that discrimination of this is a frequent flyer, or this is a drug user that, we've seen a million times and this always happens. And so you can't get into that mindset. And it's very, very hard when you work with people who are that way. It's very, very hard to avoid putting yourself into that mindset. So how do we eliminate it? We all have to be conscious of that. It doesn't matter what a person looks like, what a person believes, what a person does in their own time. It is not directly affecting you. It is not something out to get you. It is not something to change who you are as a person. So why does it matter? Especially in our profession. You treat them all the same, no matter what they look like, no matter what they do, no matter what they did. We take calls where we're having to work on somebody who just shot up a school. Yeah, we still have to take care of them. We can't say, this guy shot up an elementary school. We're just going to let him die. It doesn't work that way. And that would still be a discrimination. Now, it says, both Elliot and her former students talk about whether or not this exercise should be done with all children. What do you think? If the exercise could be harmful to children, as Elliot suggests, what do you think actual discrimination might do? I saw both points of view there. I understand what Elliot's saying, that it could be very harmful to children, because it could. Like I said, I immediately thought about how I would feel and how my son would feel having been treated that way. I think you could definitely, I think she's right. Without proper training on how to handle that type of situation, I think you could damage children very easily. Um, I don't so much anymore in today's age think it would need to be used with all children in all schools. It's not, like I said, it's not to say we don't still have discrimination, because we absolutely do. But I don't know. That's a very, very hard one, because I agree that it could harm children, but the harm from discrimination could be worse. I mean, it's harmful to the child being discriminated against, or the adult, because, they grew up being discriminated against. But it's also harmful to the one doing the discriminating. It is harmful in many aspects. Habit becomes a completely normal thing every day. And it changes who you are as a person. And we learn things so much better as children, so much better. That's why they say when you teach a second language, you're supposed to do it, when your child first starts talking. We don't absorb as much. We don't change when we're adults. We are set in our ways. We want to do things a certain way. It's very, very hard. Now, granted, it's not like it's a book learning exercise, so it would be a little different than that, but one of her former students made a comment about that. They're going to be set in their ways, but I'm going to be set in my ways of not discriminating. So I see both points, and I would be very happy to not be the person who made that decision on whether or not all students in all schools needed to have that lesson. I wouldn't want to be the person to make that decision, honestly, because I can see both sides. But I guess that's it. Talk to you guys next time.